What's the best way to support a local business? And I say local. I don't like that word small business because we get in our mind frame we're small. No, we're just local and we're growing. The best way to support a local business, leave a review, put a post, tell somebody about it, and go and support them. When I say support, buy the service, tell about the service. And people say, oh man, I ain't got time. Yes, you do. If you start Facebook flipping for 5 minutes, you'll be all right. Flipping for 5 minutes, you'll be all right. Reviews sell. Nobody says, hey, let me go Facebook Brian over that. Your friends, no, I'm going to Facebook him and see who he is. You're not doing that. Nobody's saying, I'm a TikTok check. No, everybody's Googling. It takes you a simple moment to go and leave a review somebody. The review you leave is actually helping them to grow. And it doesn't take a lot out of it. I ain't got time. Yes, you do. I remember my last deployment. I remember getting hit by a roadside bomb. It was crazy because this was during the time when they were capturing people and beheading them. And I was the trail vehicle. I had my driver and my gunner. And I said, okay, let's roll out. And I would turn the wheel and we moved maybe 5 feet. And my MRAP got hit by a roadside. It picked up about 3-4 feet and hit the ground. It was a shaped charge, and the charge hit the corner of my door like a millimeter or so to the right, and it deflected and went through the engine block. Millimeter to the left, I wouldn't be sitting here. But luckily, the wrecker had just turned, and they backed up a little and they saw us. They came back and they picked us up, brought us back to the base. We come back in. This time, the tire blew. Passenger side, middle tire blew. Driving, and we get to the point that we literally have the rubber fall off. We were turning down, we call it Sniper Alley. And now we're on the rim. And we're driving, we're gunning it, and the rim comes off. The bond I had with my brothers and sisters there, I'll never lose that bond. When they found out I was hit, pretty much we were in a bad situation. We were trying to call for support. The first sergeant from the old company brought us all these vehicles came out of nowhere and secured our location to get us out of there. I think everybody should serve 1 to 2 years in the military. I don't care if you're the 1%er or no percenter. You should serve for certain reasons, to get a respect for it, get an understanding. Only 2% of the U.S. population ever volunteers or serves in the military.
Welcome to the Colorado Springs Business Podcast, where we discuss business principles and provide real-life insight into the lives of everyday business owners and entrepreneurs. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe or leave a review wherever you might be listening. Now, let's talk business.
Before we get started with today's episode, and it is a good one, James shares some great insight. We'd like to thank our sponsors. We have a brand new one for you today. We have Franchise Succeed. Franchise Succeeds helps your small business start franchising and scale across the nation. You ever wanted to franchise your business? Are you in a position with your business where you think that you're ready to scale it and take it to the next level? Well, Franchise Succeed helps with just that. They've worked with tons of companies like Twin Peaks, Fazoli's. They help with the legal side of it, the financials, and the sales and marketing to really help your company start getting and digging its toes into franchising. And if you're already franchising, well, they also help with that. They can help you develop a multi-unit strategy to help you expand your reach. So whether you're just starting out with your franchise or have an existing one that you're looking to expand, reach out to Franchise Succeed. Give them a call and set up a free consultation today. Call 719-964-3284 to get your free consultation with Franchise Succeed to see how they can help you. That's 719-964-3284. Our next sponsor is a company I like to call, and they like to call themselves too, Planet Duct. Planet Duct, they have the most powerful. We're actually going to read their ad because I have something written that I really liked actually. So why Planet Duct? If you're in Colorado Springs and surrounding areas and you haven't heard of Planet Duct, you're missing out. They're not just any air duct cleaning company service. They're NADCA NADCA certified specialist. Here's what sets them apart. Powerful equipment. Their team is highly trained to give your air ducts a cleaning that is literally out of this world. Comprehensive cleaning. From blowing the dust from your duct vents to cleaning the truck lines, they've got it all covered. They even clean the return drop, blower wheel, and filter compartment. Safety checks. After all that cleaning, they do a free carbon monoxide check to ensure your system is safe. Time efficient. Depending on your home size and project scope, they typically take about 3 to 5 hours to get the job done, and they get it done right. So if you're looking to breathe a little easier, give Planet Duct a call. Trust us, your lungs will thank you. Visit their website for more information at planetduct.com. Our next sponsor is Recon Marketing. And you know what? I'm going to tell you why Recon Marketing rocks. Their expertise. They know the ins and outs of marketing like the back of their hand. They have many of years of experience in doing this, and you can trust them. Free consultations. Not sure if they're a right fit? They offer a free consultation to help you decide. And if that wasn't enough, the co-host of this episode today right now is Marcus Alvarado, who is the founder of recon marketing. Custom solutions. Every business is unique, and recon marketing tailors their services to meet your specific needs. Results driven. They focus on delivering real measurable results. So connect with them today. Get your free consultation today at reconmarketingservices.com. That's reconmarketingservices.com. So now we're going to dive into this amazing episode with James Flowers. Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast. Today we're sitting here with James Flowers. You got something to say?
Oh,
I thought I heard.
I was just
heard your
smiling.
breath.
That's all I was doing
heard your
over
breath.
here.
I heard. I was like, did you have something?
My turn.
All right, yeah, James, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
All right, so hey, fellas. So like Andrew said, my name is James Flowers. I am a 23-year Army retired veteran, father. How many kids? 3 kids. Joking, folks. Just joking. I got 3 kids. I'm married to my wife. She's Air Force, which is kind of crazy. So I'm retired Army. My wife's retired Air Force. Uncle retired Marine Corps. Brother-in-law was retired Navy. So we had the whole circle. And then they started expanding to the Coast Guard and Space Command, everything. But that's something different. So I'm actually, I came here, retired out here in 2013. And I was here back in 96. And I was stationed 4 cars. Like, man, this place is beautiful. Look at the mountains and everything. You know what? I can retire here. So I decided and talked to my wife and convinced her, let's retire and stay here instead of going back down south. And I said, one of the reasons why is I look at this window. We get to look at this all the time for free. There's people flying in 2 or 3 times a year and got to pay your arm or leg and they're firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little background. But me, one big thing is I'm currently the president of the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. I'm actually an entrepreneur as well. I'm involved in all the community, and I'm just a people person. You know, that's a little bit about me. As you ask more questions, I'll be able to answer more.
Oh, yeah. And, like your email address literally is James Helps People, right?
Yep. Email is jameshelpspeople01@gmail. And please put the S in helps, not just help.
Oh, yeah.
Because it won't go to the right one.
Oh, yeah. And then, yeah, I guess if someone's listening to this, they can email you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll try my best.
Yeah.
And I tell folks, please do not get offended. I emailed him 2 days ago. He has replied back. I get a lot of emails.
Yeah.
I get a lot of text messages. So I am working on doing that. I will get in the cycle. I just got to talk to my bosses, my wife and kids.
Oh, gotcha.
And give me order.
Yeah. So what is your business that you do?
Okay, so everybody pretty much knows me as DJ Shield and the Wheels of Steel. You know, I've been DJing for a while. I'm well known through Colorado Springs and Colorado. One of the things about our company is our niche is we do all clean music. So we do everything from weddings to promotionals. We do special events like tomorrow. I'm actually going to be the DJ for the Special Olympics down at the Red Lake Brewery. So if you're listening to this today, come on down tomorrow morning and support the Special Olympics. Just everything in general. And it's funny we talking about my business. I actually had this great commercial that was made by this guy. I'm sitting with Mr. Andrew himself.
Oh, yeah.
It was hilarious when I did my interview. I was telling him about some things. Like I remember he said, how you getting the DJing? Well, me and my brothers playing around and I just have this Kango hat from LL. And if you look at the commercial, he literally photoshopped a LL Cool J hat and shades on me in the mic, and I was like, wow, this guy's intense. It was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Picture me in an LL Cool J red Kango back in the day. That's what he had. And I had a microphone like this, like I was partying, and but I just love doing the music.
Yeah.
So I'm DJing, but that's not all I do, people. I actually have expanded out. I got to get a little more relaxed. I'm getting old and the needs are getting worse. So I actually joined out and got with a company called Elify, in which we do digital promotions with our digital cards. It's a platform in which you can actually promote anything you have going on, an event, your business, your organization. It is a lead capturing, follow-up system, CRM, a partridge and pear tree. If you don't have a website, all that's get done, and have the ability to share your business with a tap, QR code, email, Facebook, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just where I'm in now. I do a lot of things, but the big things I do, folks, is I help people.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a question, a concern, everybody calls me the connector. If you don't tell somebody what you need help with, how can we help you?
That's true. Yeah.
Let's break down. There's a lot of things here, right?
Yeah.
President of the Fountain Valley Chamber as well. Tell us how'd you get into that? Like, I'm assuming you live in Fountain, right?
Yeah, I live in Fountain. An interesting thing about Fountain, Fountain is actually. So let's go back to the name of the chamber first. Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. So Fountain is a city, but it's not the only city. It's actually Fountain Valley, which includes security, wide field, Hanover, Midway, and I always forget one. And they go, oh, yeah, I apologize, folks, if I forgot the city. But we wanted the name. Actually, it was Scott Turner, who was a former president of the chamber, who put in to revamp the name to Fountain Valley to cover the entire valley. How I got involved with it was when I retired. I said, I'm just going to do my business. I do legal shields. I was doing my business. And I bumped into one of the ambassadors. I got involved with the chamber, became a member, consistent member, started bringing people in, became an ambassador, got really more involved, joined the board, and I was on the board doing everything. And our president actually termed out, and they suggest, hey, you think you should be president? Like, I don't know, should I? Yeah, you'd be a good president. So I became president, got really involved, and we just expanded out. The chamber is involved in all the community. We're not just in Fountain, we're actually in security. We're in Colorado Springs, Manitou, Pueblo, Denver. Like, why are you guys way up there? Because people need to know about Fountain. Consistently, most people drive south, they see Academy, they see Gate 20, and they see Pueblo. Like, hey, Fountain, we're here. Come on down, see us. So that's how I got involved with the chamber. And one of the big things I wanted to do was bring attention to Fountain. We're not the redhead stepchild. We're not part of Colorado Springs. We run the Springs, because the Springs is in camp, all the states around it. So you want to talk about us, come see us.
Love it. And there's a lot going on in that town too. So you're telling us a little bit before we started recording about what's been going on. I mean, for folks, I always say Colorado Springs, and it's changing a lot, right? It used to be traditionally the past 20-something years I've been here is a very pocketed city. If you're in Northgate, you have everything you want, or in Northgate, right? You have your grocery stores, you have your movie theaters. You have no reason to go downtown Colorado Springs. Same thing with the Powers East Corridor or the West Side. So tell us more what's going on in Fountain as well.
So Fountain is not what everybody likes to term or think, oh, it's just a small little country town. No, Fountain is quite well expanded. Could be one key thing. We've all heard in the last couple of months about the King Soopers Plaza opening up. Everybody's like, no big deal. It is a big deal because Fountain itself is a food desert. We need more stores. We need more grocery stores, more retail. So with the actual building of the King Soopers Plaza comes a lot of things, more jobs, more income. But before we get through with that, we have to back up all other things. Fountain has right now currently 45 projects on the books that we're working. If you actually come down to Mesa, you'll see the Black Bear restaurant, good restaurant. Right behind them, you see all this construction. What's going on? Glad you asked that question. That's actually going to be a new apartment complex. I believe they said it was 400 new apartments going to be there. And if you come down to Mesa, right across from the high school, you see the Maverick, the Duck Car Wash, the Dutch Brothers, and all that make up there. Well, in that same plaza area there, there's going to be a UCC health center there, a big health center. And heading down there, looking at the plaza, you're going to see where the King Soup is going to be at. So that whole little quad of like an area will be a new commercial area that's bringing all this business. Right now, currently, we're seeing 30,000 plus cars on the Mesa. Once we get this build up in Fountain, we're looking to have that be like 60,000 cars every day on that Mesa driving back and forth. Adding to other things, we are actually expanding. A lot of people don't realize. Thank you all for shopping the Vinatucci, Walmart, and Sam's. We appreciate that. I'll let you know that's actually a Fountain annex. So that's an expansion plan that the city got. You currently, when you drive around, you see the new Panera Bread on the left. Panda Express. Well, guess what, folks? There's other things going to be there as well. And behind Sam's, there's another plot that is open for a retail company, and there's hotels. So that's just stuff that you see. Also, we have, one developer is going to be bringing in an area of 800 new homes in Fountain. That's just one developer. We're expected to have quite a few things. By 2026, you won't even recognize Fountain what you used to be looking at.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So being the president of the Chamber of Commerce, is this kind of why you're tuned into a lot of this stuff? I
got to admit that I've got privilege to a lot of those things, privy to them. But at the same time, I want to know because I live here. What's going on? I want to be able to talk proud about our city, my neighborhood, what we do, instead of like, what's in Fountain? Well, we got this dirt road down here. No, we got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it's also a way to me to counteract people saying, well, ain't nothing in Fountain. I said, really? What's the Springs doing? The Springs is growing. No, they're not. The Springs, but no, you're not. You're tearing down and building back up because you have no space. Fountain has tremendous space. So I tell a lot of businesses, if you're looking to grow and you're not down in Fountain, this is the time to make it happen. Definitely, because and the city is actually open for negotiation for businesses to come down. We've got some pretty good incentives. I mean the city. James does not control that. Yeah. Don't call the chamber with incentives. I will get you connected with the city people you need to, but I don't have any say so.
You got a lot going on with your business to worry about too at the same time, right?
Oh man, yeah. We're actually getting out of the summer rush of wedding season. Well, summer season for DJing, and we're about to get into the fall wedding season. My company DJ Shield grew to the point that I had to get help. So I also have the COS old school DJs, with DJ photo booths. So through the years, we keep expanding things. I expand to bringing in CS old school DJs. And then we got so many questions and requests, we actually started adding photo booths. So now we're the old school DJs and photo booth. And after so many pushing requests, we actually add 360 photo booths. I'm like, look, people, I'm pushing back, man. I can't keep adding all this stuff, man. I'm trying to be a retired guy, but not a working guy. Excuse me, but one of the big things I'm gonna have to put a plug out. So if you're not there, folks.
Oh, nice.
September 16th, the Best Wings of the West Festival being hosted by Mr. Flip and his wife. Last year I was so honored to be the inaugural DJ for the festival, but this year the second DJ is gonna be my man DJ Bryant, one of our company guys there. So if you're not available on September 16th, go to the Wings of the West Festival. And I know I messed it up, Flip. You call me and tell me about it later, bro, because I'm in the zone right now.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. See, James is always shouting out people. He's always connecting people. He's always you're always showing the love, man. I love that. Yeah.
You know, and that's all we need to do each other, man. I saw a post that made so much sense to me. What's the best way to support a local business? And I say local. I don't like that word small business because we get in our mind frame we're small. No, we're just local and we're growing. The best way to support a local business, leave a review, put a post, tell somebody about it, and go and support them. When I say support, buy the service, tell about the service. If it's something you don't need, like I don't need to go to a natural local beauty salon, but you know what I do? Hey, let me buy a lip balm. Something small that I can use, but I'm supporting you. And people say, oh man, I ain't got time. Yes, you do. If you start Facebook flipping for 5 minutes, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I like that. We're going to cut the clip that. That's going to be a nice clip right there. Yeah, because that clip will be the Facebook scrolling. And so people, maybe it'll be meta.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So also with the DJ Shield, man, we're so honored that annually we do the back to school chaplains event at the Air Force Academy.
Oh, nice.
Bro, oh my God, there's so much stuff that we do. And we're not the best DJ company in town because there are some great ones as well. I'm not friends with them all, but I feel that we are one of the best for reliability and excitement. There's 3 types of DJs that I like to tell people about. There's a DJ that you have on the ones and twos that's killing it, rocking it, going back and forth, having a good time. There's a DJ that's actually interactive with you, making jokes, kind of like an MC capability. But when you combine them into 3, the number 3rd one is the actual DJs on fire, interacting with you, and actually coming from behind the booth and having fun. That's DJ Shield.
Yeah. We captured that in the video too that we did.
Yeah, it's in my commercial. It sure is. I forgot, but man, that was great.
Oh yeah. You had the kids going. That little kid was like getting down.
Oh yeah. Everybody. And if we have a song that we can't find a clean version for, we'll put instrumental for it. We do that as far as music. That's another thing we like. We love interacting with the kids and because something I do, and that's not everybody, and I'm not saying they're wrong for it, but I tell the kids, come back here, come on, get in the booth, hit the buttons, do some scratching, have some fun, because people are like, you don't mind? I say, no, if they break it, I'll just buy another one. But how often when they get the chance to interact with them, that we don't realize the child that we let back there, that's the next generation of DJs. That's the ones who like, you know what? I felt special. They might have had a bad day and you just made their life. I got one of my groups. I do their annual Christmas party, and one year I did it, and their son came up. My man DJ, shout out to you. He came and he DJed with me, DJing. So that year, his parents got him a DJ controller. So that next year for Christmas, I said, "Hey, bro," I said, "Hey man, I need some help." He didn't realize I put a table out for him to actually connect and DJ with me at the party.
That's cool.
You know, so it was just the excitement to get him going.
That's awesome.
But I'm rambling, man. I'm just. If you think I'm a little passionate about stuff, man.
We like the rambling. It's a podcast.
Right, definitely.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I got to experience you at the inaugural Best of the West Wing Fest.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And then some of the best parts of that whole festival were like the wing eating contest, and then like it was like the hottest wing challenge. you got it lit up, man, during that time.
Oh yeah,
They had like a storm that came through like right before it, and then like the storm kind of ended right before all those things began, and then he just lit it up, and then it was like so much energy. Everybody moved from wherever they were and moved towards the stage. It was really cool, and I didn't know what your experience was from that, but like as a patron, I thought it was a blast.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that's one of the jobs I tell people. The DJs, your job is to keep the crowd hype. I'll take a line from Drumline. The percussion section is the heartbeat of the whole band. With a DJ, you're the heartbeat of the whole situation, whole event. It doesn't matter if it's a grand opening, if it's prom, it's a festival, if it's I've done memorials, but you keep it going. So make it exciting, make it fun, and don't make it about you. I got a review a client posted for me. I was like, wow, that was nice. Saying I was one of the few DJs that she's seen that came from behind the table and was on the crowd interacting folks, and she put in bold letters, but didn't make it about him. He made it about the situation. I was like, wow, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's a little something we do, something I do.
Yeah, those reviews, they mean a lot, you know. Like,
yeah.
As business owners, we see that stuff, you know. Leave a review on my stuff right now. I'm just kidding.
No, actually, you need to do that, folks. And, Andrew's making a little joke. Okay, so I'm a geek, and I be researching stuff like crazy. But reviews sell. Nobody says, hey, let me go Facebook Brian. Over that, your friends? No, I'm going to Facebook him, see who he is. You're not doing that. Nobody's saying, I'm a TikTok check. No, everybody's Googling. It takes you a simple moment to go and leave a review somebody. The review you leave is actually helping them to grow, helping with the analytics and have them come forward. And it doesn't take a lot out of it. I ain't got time. Yes, you do. There's actual ways that if you're a business owner, you don't know how, get with me. You can go to your Google business page and grab the quick review link, and you can post that. I actually have it attached to my card. So, if somebody can like, hey, I need to leave a review for you. Here you go, tap. And the review pops up, and instantly opens up, and it's done. I mean, I'm in a room full of geeks, so I'm kind of geeking out. But it's the fact that you made that statement about the reviews, Andrew, and it is true.
87% of all customers look up your Google reviews before making a buying decision with you.
Yeah, and he's in marketing. Go review Recon Marketing.
Yeah,
right
there you
now.
go. But it's very true.
Wow, Recon Marketing, I like that.
Let's go.
He sat there and said they're reviewing because they're reconning you. That's a military term. Whore.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and it's the fact that it's not just they're reviewing you. How many reviews do you have? What is your star? Here's a kicker, and I'm gonna hit right on points for you. How long ago was the last review? It doesn't matter if you got 5,000 reviews and they're all 5 stars, but they were 10 years ago. You just got dropped off the scene. We went a whole different route, but I like this, man.
Yeah, it's a business podcast.
It's part of the Google algorithm. It has to everything about your brand, from your website to your Google business profile. It used to be called Google My Business, but now it's Google Business Profile.
Yeah, that's it.
Has to be updated on an ongoing basis because, as we know, the algorithm of Google changes 3 times a day.
Yep.
So they're crawling all over everything all the time. And one of the main things that they look for is how often are things being updated, optimized. And so you're right. A review, the more recent one, the better, right?
Yeah. And before they changed it, because I used to do SEO with you, so we can talk later, man. It's fun. Yeah. When you were able to go on Google and you could actually post and tag, I was tagging all the hotels that I was actually DJing at, and I was tagging all the vendors with me, and it just took my stuff up. Now you can actually do photos and updates. Yeah. Like, okay, that's all right. And going so back, you remember when they had Google ads, like AdWords, like, oh my goodness, that was crazy doing this. But all that to say, folks, right now on this podcast, and I'm gonna start something if I haven't started, say everybody who comes through here, we're gonna actually put everybody's either direct link or their direct review, and everybody click and leave a review for all these different businesses that come through here. If you have not done so, why are you not hitting the like page and following this podcast? If you have not done so, recon and see what you need to do. And when you're ready to have a good time, you ready to get up off the feet, move to the beat, call your man DJ Cheese.
Add some little sound effects in there.
That's it. Back to you, bro.
Yeah, man, that's great. Yeah, we love talking about all the business stuff. Like, we even have this podcast. I mean, it's a business podcast. We even have a Google page. We actually, this podcast, you can actually, you can search us up on Google Maps and on everything, and it'll take you right here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, and it's good, like, because we all know, like they always say, that word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertisement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually, I don't know if you're into like a lot of this kind of nerdier talk, but we love Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's like a very big entrepreneurial YouTube guy who's like coming on the scene. He was talking about how to leverage that even more in today's world with affiliates and different things that are happening, emerging new marketing tactics that weren't here. I mean, they've all been hybrids of what was there before, but now like the affiliate programs and things that are coming out are just, it's really cool to see, all the different things that are happening with just word of mouth and people helping out your brand. It's cool, man. It's great. I'm sure you get a lot of good, like, people referring your business to their family members for a wedding or whatever it might be. I got referred you a long time ago for one of my festivals, actually.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, I've heard about you before I was introduced to you as well. So I could tell that your name carries a lot of weight in this community.
And I appreciate that. And I earned that, man, because I tell folks all the time, every time that you're working an event, it's an interview for the next one. Because people are just, I'm seeing you here. I can't tell you how many times I've been to a wedding and I had a bride become walk. Hey, me and my husband getting married once. You're free this day.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually had 3 times I've been at weddings that I literally got booked and sat on the side and did a contract for the new future bride on the spot. I'm like, wow, great. I've done fundraisers and I've done one birthday to get another birthday, this birthday, that, and it just all comes out. So like you're saying, it's not just, it's the reviews that you click, but it's also people see you interacting. When I saw Andrew out walking around, I said, who's this guy walking with this camera? And I was okay. Like, dude, just chill. And then it was crazy. I was like, okay, oh, that's the video dude they're talking about. Hey, I heard about you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny you say people hear about you and like, yeah, I've had people I walked around, you look familiar. I was like, yeah, I'm me. Who you think I am? I'm just being funny, but that's not, I've seen or saying, and they heard my name, because that's something I taught to one of my clients is when you're doing your social media posts, pictures are great, video sell.
Mm-hmm.
Interact. So I'm doing little snippet videos and I tell them like, hey, all you got to do is a quick 15-second video, 30 seconds of stretching. And you're basically making a reel, and I'm just giving some little tips out there. You're basically making a Facebook reel and a video at the same time to get double analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm no longer in the SEO, but I still remember, but I bet if you recon, you get the help you need.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My partner's SEO guru for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about it because I can kind of see it just with your mannerisms and everything. Prior military,
Well,
how have those disciplines and skill sets carried on with you for being president of the chamber, owning multiple businesses? Talk a little bit more about that.
Well, I'm gonna give you something a lot of people don't know. I'm very loud, very direct, and very stern. But anybody who knows me from being a child, total opposite. I was a very shy kid. I was a nerd. I just did books and did what I needed to do. Wasn't very loud. I actually had a stuttering problem a little bit. But when I got into the military, and I'm from South Carolina, Geechee. So for those of you who know, you know what I mean, but I'll break it down to you. Geechee is I have a Southern accent, but a Jamaican twang.
Okay.
So I would sit and start talking things like I would say, and you say strawberry, you said strawberry, I said strawberry.
Oh,
You said sweet,
Frank
I said
Sinclair
sweet.
does that with the K.
Yep.
He's from South Carolina too, I think.
Streets and traits.
North Carolina.
So when I'm back home around somebody from South Carolina, I can let it come out hard, but I tried really good and worked on keeping it in. So saying all that said, I went to basic training. My drill sergeant was a female drill sergeant. Well, one of my drill sergeants was a female drill. And I'm from down south. And we say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. So my drill sergeant said, you understand me, private? Yes, ma'am. I like a ma'am to you? Yes, ma'am. I'm not a ma'am. I'm a drill sergeant. You understand? Yes, ma'am. What's saying? Yes, ma'am. So I had to break that out of my system. So I got it in my system. I got it down. But I can tell you from my military training, I learned so much discipline, respect, and teamwork. I got buddies and friends of mine, man, that I've known for decades, that we just are still connected together. I've been retired, 10 years now, but I got soldiers that work with me that still call me or keep in touch with me to this day. I got friends of mine that we've been through heck together. We've been through a lot of crap. I remember my last deployment, and it was a crazy moment. I remember getting hit by a roadside bomb.
No way.
It was crazy because this was during the time when they were capturing people and beheading them, and I was a trail vehicle. And I remember my guys to this day. I had my 2 guys that were in. I had my driver and my gunner. And I said, okay, let's roll out. And I would turn the wheel, and we moved maybe 5 feet, and my MRAP got hit by a roadside. Now, anybody who's military, to basically give an idea, MRAP is like a semi. It's about the size of a semi. No, not that heavy to weight, but it picked up about 3-4 feet and hit the ground. It was a shaped charge, and the charge hit the corner of my door like a millimeter or so to the right, and it deflected, went through the engine block. A millimeter to the left, I wouldn't be sitting here. I bring this up because of the fact that how the bonding we have for our team works. So my engine was gone. I had no battery power. I had no communication. I was just sitting there with me and my gunner. But luckily, the wrecker had just turned, but something, I said, Lord, told them, hey, something wrong. And they backed up a little and they saw us. They came back and they picked us up, brought us back to the base. The next day, we got 24 hours of quarters. The next day, my commander said, you guys are going back out again when we get you out of shell shock. Okay. So we went to try to go out, and we went through one vehicle wouldn't start. One of the lights wouldn't work. One of the ram wouldn't work. And there was like 4. I say, sir, I don't know about you, but I listen to the Lord. We're going back to bed. So we go back to bed that night. The next time we go back out again, we were clearing a fob. We come back in, and this time, the MRAP, we have the tire blows. And once again, for my military folks, you guys will go, wow, because just Google MRAP. It's MARAP.
Big.
We'll put a picture up.
Yeah, and this big thing blew out. The passenger side middle tire blew. And the tire blew, and we had this guy, our commander, I will keep his name as what we call him, Captain America, decide we're going to push through. Now, our entire convoy is pretty much our motor pool, all mechanics. And we're all telling them we need to slow down. No, keep it going fast. So we're driving, and we're driving, and we get to the point that we literally have the rubber fall off. And we're turning down, we call it Sniper Alley. Because that's just what happens all the time. And we turn that sniper, tire falls off, and now we're on the rim. And we're driving, we're gunning it, and the rim comes off. It's hilarious, man. And the rim comes off, and we're like 200-300 feet from getting to the gate. So we call on the mic, and we let the gate guard know, hey, clear, we're coming in. Because normally when the vehicle comes in haul and tail, the front gate is going to take care of it. So we get in there, we put the vehicle aside, and I got pictures of the MRAP. The first one is messed up, and the second one, to this day, I don't display them, but to let you know the intensity of one of the explosive, the one that, the first one that got blown up, when I said that the round went through, the shaped charge went through the engine block popped the piston out, about this size. And I picked that up. I got that in my home office right now, sitting on my shelf. That's cast iron steel. That went through all that. I was like, there ain't nothing going through me. So, but the bond I have with my brothers and sisters there, I'll never lose that bond, because when they found out I was hit, people came, we were, I'm not gonna get into too much detail for security reasons, but pretty much we were in a bad situation and we were trying to call for support. But our support that we had coming was pretty far, but luckily we had just cleared a Cobb, and this other, the first sergeant from the old company brought his entire, look like it's like a bag. It's a funny movie, like a cartoon movie, but not a cartoon, like a war movie. All these vehicles came out of nowhere and secured our location to get us out of there. So that's one of the things I would say in the military. You have a brotherhood, a sisterhood that connects you, and one of the biggest things, race really end up when you downrange. Race don't mean a darn thing to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me the drive to know how close we were. And through my different jobs I've done in the military, the time I've been, I learned confidence. I learned command capability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I would say everybody, hey, I wish honestly, and this is what I mean, you can put it on the world. I think everybody should serve 1 to 2 years in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're the 1%er or no percenter. You should serve for certain reasons, to get a respect for it, get understanding. When people sit and say like, well, you know, the military don't need this, or they get discounts. Do you know why we get it? We've earned it. We went through a lot of crap. Not saying if you don't go in the military, you're not that, but if you choose to do that, because I was a recruiter, and I can tell you, only 2% of the U.S. population ever volunteers or serves in the military. So if the 1%ers get credit, why can't 2%ers get credit as well? Back to you.
That's crazy,
No,
man.
yeah. I
That's
love
so
that story.
crazy. That's a really good story. We're going to have to clip that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Add some music to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because you know how music, it controls the motion.
Yeah.
Helps
You know,
drive the motion.
I tell you what, if you do that, I can I got the picture.
I was about to say, send the pictures. Yeah,
I'll send one pictures, man. Of the I think I got, man. If I got the one with the rims off and everything, because I'm trying to think in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it wasn't anything, I can show you. It's nothing.
Yeah,
Military classified showing on it. So
sure.
Not that I did like classified anything. I wonder what they go. He may try to make it like he was special. I was like, no. It's just the fact that nowadays you don't know what they can say. Hey, that's against the military regulations.
It's a real story, though. I mean, there's always going to be someone who's going to complain about something. We had someone telling a military story on the podcast before, and it got like a lot of views and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people in the comments, just hating.
Right.
It happens,
And I will just put this disclaimer, and you guys put this when you clip it. Put this in the beginning. I don't want this to be a trigger for anybody, because some of us will see those things and it can't trigger us. And talk about military, one of the things that I think need to be stated is, for people who have not served, let me tell you this: all scars are not going to be seen. Okay, a lot of scars that we have, it's like PTSD, mental, emotional. I am a 100% disabled veteran. You don't look like it. You look like you're in pretty good health. A lot of my scars are unseen. You see me keep switching my legs back and forth. Why am I doing? Not just comfortability, because my knees are toe up. And I have handicap tags on my car. Now I have a nice car, and I park in a handicapped space. And I get out, and people look at me like, "Why is he there? Why is he there?" Because honestly, you don't see. And this is for my fellow brothers and sisters in arms. Some of us take pharmacies for breakfast. We will take tons of pills. I was taking, I think, like 13, 14 pills of all the different disabilities I had. And I don't say it to get pity. I say it to get recognition that we need to understand sometimes we need help. I will give credit to the VA, because for years we were complaining there was not enough help for behavioral health therapists. Now there's been a giant influx of them. And they've been saying that's off post to get help. So just to tell everybody, if you see a veteran, help them out. And in closing the veterans, 2 things. Folks, Veterans Day, thank us for our service. Say what's going on. Memorial Day, don't thank us for our service. Memorial Day for those brothers and sisters who are no longer here, who gave ultimate sacrifice. And I try to make sure we clarify. And then the reason I tell you, because if you tell a veteran on Memorial Day, thank you for service, and he goes, they blow up on you, what's wrong with him? That's why. I had a soldier of mine, I won't mention his name, it was really weird when I was recruiting. I had buddies recruiting. I went back to Fort Bragg. One of my soldiers recruited one of my buddies. And this soldier went down range with our battalion before I got there, came back. I had a great time, everything. And me and my wife started mentoring him and his wife. And this soldier took his own life. And I say, like, wow, it was crazy. I mentioned that because of the fact that on Memorial Day, I still think about this kid. I think about it because whenever somebody passes, this is getting a little detail. I was part of the funeral services in which I had to escort his remains back home. And when you're on that detail, you following the hearse to where it's going. And I was at Fort Bragg, and I had to go back to his location. Won't give names to ideas, but it was a long trip. And the entire trip, I had to stay behind his vehicle so far. When I got there, I had to address his mom. I just stepped in and just did a lot of service. So I really think about that. So Memorial Day, and somebody like, thank you for your service, I'd say no. Or somebody who tried to disrespect it, I get emotional about that crap.
100%. I lost my best friend to PTSD suicide. He was a Marine, and he served in, 09 to 13. And he took his own life in 2016. But he was a Marine, mortarman, and he was in, I don't know if you know, he was in Afghanistan. And he started singing. And yeah, I mean, I just remember the stories that he could tell me beyond classified stuff of what's going on. Right. But like, it's the saddest thing. And you're right. Memorial Day, I remember him. It's like a mourning day for me for that. But one of the coolest things about the whole situation is that they actually got him his service in Arlington, and they honored him in Arlington.
Wow.
And that was amazing. As any military, any veteran person would know, like, Arlington's like creme de la creme, And so they did the 21 gun salute, and they did the folded flag, which is always the hardest part, of course, the folded flag.
Yeah.
And, it was beautiful. Like, it was just, I was so proud that he was there, and that's where they rested him, Yeah.
To give you guys a understand that Arlington being, wow, Arlington is reserved for presidents. major political figures, 4-star generals, that have served 45 years. For a Marine to get that position, it's wow, crazy. Not just Marine, a military person. I don't want y'all thinking, well, the Marines are supposed to be less than that. No, it's any military service individual getting that position is outstanding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful. But no, I understand what you're talking about, the unseen scars, and I feel you, brother, for sure. I've never served. I've had family who served. My grandfather, I was a caretaker for him, so I knew all the things he went through, and it's just thank you so much for your service. I know it's not a specific day to thank you, but I always thank any veteran for sure, because I know, what you guys do for us to have our freedoms that so many of us take for granted. You know,
I mean, I feel, being able to say that, like I said, I think the term, and this is just James, and I know one of my buddies, I know Barnes is going to be calling me, he was a Marine. The few and the proud should say, the few and the proud who served. Because that's what we are. That's what we are. That's what we were. That's what we'll be. But on a positive note, I want y'all to think like, man, he done took this to a whole dark side. Like, no, it's just something that was on my mind.
It's good. This is the good stuff that makes you who you are, man. We have to tell this story because this is why you are the man you are today. What you're able to do, this is the building blocks for you.
And man, you didn't realize you just said what I was going to bring up. The reason I'm able to do so much what I do is 3 reasons. One, my connection with my Lord, and some people are like, oh, click, okay, I have a connection. You may not, I don't know. That's not my say so for you. I'm connected with my Lord, and I will say my connection with my kids. Now, my kids, boy, my mom used to say, I hope your kids be just like you. I said, they could be great. I didn't realize how she was just cursing me because my kids are just like me and they're irritating sometimes. Like, oh my God, I love my kids to death, but boy, I didn't realize I poked at people like that, but they excite me and I do what I do because of them. Now, somebody's right now saying, well, why he mention his wife? Because I saved the best for last, Not saying God's not the best, but he's the first. So with my wife, she actually met me, and I know she's going to get mad because I'm going to tell the truth about how I'm meeting story. She says it was different, but it was really true the way I say it. I was out recruiting, and I was out there in Richmond, and I saw her, and she was a Air Force medical person. And in recruiting in Richmond, I don't know if they're still saying, we all recruits sit in this little row. We're sitting there waiting on our person to decide and do the paperwork and join. And she would just walk back and forth, and I was like, man, a little cute thing. That thing's a little nice. Ooh, she's sexy. We're all just saying this. And everybody would just try to holler at her, and she just like zone, keep going. So I started working my way to, I could go down on the medical floor and go say hi to her. Now, I would come there every week, and I would come down and bring paperwork, and her friend, Miss Priest, would say hi and talk to me and notice me. And I'd say, hey, how you doing, son, boy? And drop by. And she just kept on blowing me off. And after a month or so, Miss Priest said, that boy come down to see you. He ain't come to see me, bring paperwork. You think a boy come down every week to come bring paperwork? All right. So fast forward and make sure they could take a lot of time. Bottom line was, one day I told her, I said, hey, what you got planned for Thanksgiving? She said, why? I said, because me and my kids come to your house for Thanksgiving. Bam, threw my shot. She said, you be there by yourself, and deflected it. Like, wow, okay. But it came to the point, Thanksgiving came up, and she called me day for Thanksgiving, and she was like, hey, are you still coming by? I was like, who's this boy? Oh, and I was at the commissary with my sister. I said, hey, I gotta go, sis. So I called her, and this was our first time on the phone, and we were like some teenagers. We talked on my cell phone till it died. Then I grabbed my government phone till it died. I grabbed my cordless till it died. And then now my person wants to recharge. And we talked like from 6 to 6 the next morning on the phone, just jaw jacking. And I said, hey, well, you up? Let's get some breakfast. So, okay, cool. So I drove from Norfolk to Richmond to go to breakfast with her. Went to breakfast. We went back to her house. She was going to cook dinner. And I walked in her house, and I got on her couch, and I just felt sick. Like, oh, my God. Like, oh. And I don't really get sick ever. So I was literally on her floor, and she picked me up on the couch, and I was cold and shakes. And I'm like, man, maybe I got food poisoning or something. So that Thanksgiving weekend, I literally lived on her couch for a couple of days. She bathed me, and she gave me some soup and everything. And I'm just being the man, like, well, I'm feeling healthy enough. She set your mind down. But I say all that to say, she took me health, put me back in my car, and I drove back down. Now, what I didn't tell you guys is a few weeks before that, I said a prayer. I said, God, you know what? You bring me a wife that's got a house, a car, a job, no kids. I'll stop all the stuff I'm gonna do right now. Bam, that was her. Now, well, I know it was God's will because I never gave her my phone number. She actually called the day before Thanksgiving, and she was like, you know what? Let me just try to call recruiting offices in Norfolk City. There's like 6 offices in Norfolk. So she called the first office. I'm like, well, maybe they might have a voicemail. I told her, yeah. The person answered the phone, my buddy Holly. Holly's not supposed to be working that day. So she called the first number, talked to the right person who gave her my number.
Wow.
So that's why I say God first, her best, because he made it happen like that. So that's my support system, man, that keeps me going and everything. And then eventually I will slow down and stop, but I'm not going to stop. I'll just slow down and do something else, not as tedious.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. That's a great story.
Yep.
I mean, if that's not something written in the stars, I don't know what is. That's pretty cool.
Yep, 19 years. Well, this October will be 19 years later we've been together. She's trained me very well.
Yeah.
She'll like that part.
Oh yeah.
How does she deal with a man that is very busy? I mean, I'm assuming she's probably very busy too, but like how does that dynamic work? I'm always curious to hear.
You know, one
those
of the things, and when I do some coaching, I tell clients, you got to put on your calendar time. Put the simple, small things like, think about this. Put on your calendar, wash clothes. I'm going to wash my clothes. Go to the store. Date night.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I put these things on my calendar? Here's the reason why. Name me the one thing in your calendar you don't do. If it's on your calendar, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a book I read called 28 Days of Habit about making it a habit. So if you put these things on your calendar for a month and then do it for a second month, it becomes a habit. You might remove that. So me and my wife being busy, we actually, we'll set up a date night. And date night could be sitting down, watching a movie. It could be going out somewhere. We could just go, hey, you know what? Let's just sit in the bed and just watch the news. But it's the time together that we try to make sure happens. Now, at the same time, I also had to put date nights in there for my daughter. My youngest daughter is still with us. She's 17, about to be 18 in January. She thinks she's grown. I'll still make time for me and her to do some stuff to have fun. So being busy, it's all about busy, making money. But yeah, that's nice. But think of the richest guy in the world. How happy is he? Because he's so darn busy. Or them, I say them. Make time for family. Make time to relax. Like I said last night, one of my buddies just came in town, Elvis in town visiting, and I was up yesterday from 5 o'clock. He's like, dude, let's meet. I was like, oh, man, I'm tired. I got to go to this podcast tomorrow. I have stuff to do. But I still made time to go hang with him because it was actually beneficial hanging with my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you're busy, you still find time for the things that make you happy. You got to.
I think that's a good note to start wrapping things up on.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to you all for having me here, man. This was a good therapy session.
Yeah.
Talk to some good business mind people.
Yeah.
Grow things. If you guys are wanting to sit down and meet with me or just talk about business, easiest way to meet me. Go to my website, www.james-flowers.com. Right on there is a click to make an appointment time. Let's sit down and talk. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's have lunch. Let's communicate. That's one thing. At the same time, I will tell you folks, come see these guys. I've known Andrew for years. Messing with him. I'm about to recall my buddy here.
Yeah.
And then what you guys can't see in the back is we got Bryant. Brian. What?
Brian.
Oh, we got Brian, our audio guy, who's gonna make sure that this is smooth for you all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you know how to go up to the mic and get close for that radio voice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just small thing. So this is me having fun, but I want to say thank you all. If you're looking to come down and learn about Fountain, I can get you connected with the city management. If you're looking to do veterans, so my platform, I stand on 3 of them. Okay, veterans, minority, and women. Okay, because I got girls, I'm a minority, I'm a veteran. Anything I can help support all those or connect you with, let me know. So thank you guys for your time. Appreciate that. Once again, you can reach me at www.james-flowers.com and make an appointment. Why didn't you give me your phone number? Because I'm going to get 5,000 phone calls and I'm not going to remember anything. But if you go and make an appointment, I'll be able to connect you from there.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Well, sweet, man. Thank you for coming on the show. This has been great.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for sharing everything. And yeah, I think people can learn a lot from this episode as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But since I'm sharing, I'm not going to share by myself. So how do we reach you guys for your businesses?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's on my back of my shirt, the website, beamanvisuals.com. And yeah, and Andrew Hasley, I'm the only one.
Okay.
HAZZLEE.
Mr. Andrew Hasley.
Yeah, Andy the camera guy.
Right. That's him.
We got COS Business Podcast. I think it's cos.biz podcast on Instagram. We got the People's Tiny House Festival. It's People's Fest on Instagram. And then we got Recon Marketing Inc. on Instagram as well. Reach out to us on there. ReconMarketingServices.com as well. And you can find me anywhere else too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Brian with Ignite Experiences. Oh, yeah. He does axe throwing. He does all that stuff. What's some other things you do? Curling.
All the
Yard games.
Interactive experiences they
Interactive
provide.
experiences, yeah.
Oh.
DIY entertainment for all
Corporate.
So when we do team building events, we need to call Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Team building, yes.
Host different tournament packages. You get 100 people together, and each person gets on
Wow.
through different stations. It's fun stuff.
So if you're a business and you're planning your company retreat, get Brian a call. Brian can be reached at
IgniteExperiences.com.
Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
oh man, when you said .com, it made me think of what's the guy, the ventriloquist, and he's got a puppet, a pickle.
Jeff Dunham?
Yeah, Jeff Dunham. .com.
Yeah.
Never think of that just now.
Nice. Well, sweet. This has been the COS Business Podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Move on.
Get the wrong camera. All right.
And out. Oh, dude, that was hilarious.